So sometimes games just don't go in your favor and the grind to rank can be difficult. But if you're looking to grind up to that coveted global elite, then we got some tips that might help you out. What's up everybody, Kangas here, and in this video I'm covering 5 major tips that will help your game and hopefully get you to global elite. So smash that sub button and let's get into it.
Tip number 1, consistency. This first tip is going to put you in a position where you have the highest chance to rank up. Consistency is the idea of playing at a high level in most or nearly all of your games. If you're serious about ranking up, then consistency will be your best bet to get there. Make sure that you're playing the game as much as you can. This may sound like only playing competitive or face it, but sometimes you're in a position where you simply don't have enough time to get a full game in before you need to log off. So in that case, maybe just hop into a deathmatch server or even a casual game, one that won't affect your rank if you need to leave early. This idea of playing as much as you can when you have free time will help a ton. This is because you'll build simple things like muscle memory and just get yourself good habits. Do you remember the first time that you took a week or maybe even a month off playing CSGO? Because I do, and when I came back, everything felt different. My aim just wasn't as sharp as it used to be, and it took me a couple days to get back into the rhythm. So if you can try and play as much as you can, you'll keep yourself having good aim so that when you do go into your games, you're feeling good. Another part of consistency is making sure that when you do play competitive, you try and play in a 5-stack and best case scenario with the same players. The worst thing about comp is when you have someone trolling your games or just not taking it seriously. That's why if you play with a 5-stack who all want to win, you already have an edge on your enemies. Another great thing about playing with the same players is that you gain team chemistry. You learn how each other play and therefore will make strategies that work well with your playstyles. When you're able to do this, you put yourself in a good position to rank up as there's nothing holding you back when it comes to your gameplay. And that moves us nicely into our question of the day. For today's question, we got, what's your favorite sneaky position to play on the map? For me, it's on the jump up pipe and connector on overpass. So many times enemies have ran right past me without even checking that angle, giving me free kills and tons of laughs. But let me know yours in the comments down below. The next tip is all about the statistics of CSGO. Now, I hear you saying already, statistics in CSGO, this ain't math class, but CSGO and any other game always have an element of this. For example, when you're low HP and in a 1v3 clutch, there's a low chance of winning that round, and it's just better to cut your losses and save your gun for the next round. Having good trigger discipline also is about playing the numbers. Sometimes when you're holding a site in an unfavorable round, such as a 3v5 or 2v4, it may be much better to play safe, let some enemies pass and give your teammates information before you start shooting. There may be a round when an enemy forgets to check your angle, and yes, if you kill them right away, you guarantee that kill, but you may be traded out instantly. Whereas if you just let them pass and get all the information you can, you'll be in a really strong position and may surprise multiple enemies with your location. You'll be able to get 2 or maybe even 3 kills and then back off instead of guaranteeing getting 1 and then maybe dying. There is a risk to this, of course. Just because one enemy doesn't check your angle doesn't mean the next won't. So if you don't feel confident with waiting around, feel free to get that kill. But still, I advise in some rounds when you have the chance to hold your shots and get a couple kills, it may just put you in a better position where you can actually win the round instead of putting your teammate in a difficult clutch situation. This is also the same for retakes on the CT side. If the bomb is down and you have no players towards that site, if there's more T-side players alive than CT, it might just be better to play the numbers and save all your weapons to give you a better chance of winning the next round. Honestly though, when it comes down to the statistics of CSGO and the implications on decision making, it's probably one of the most difficult concepts to learn, and you can't be taught that in just a YouTube video. It's highly situational and something that you're really going to need to get down and spend thousands of hours playing and reviewing your own demos. That being said, there is a way to massively shortcut it, and that's by getting in touch with somebody who's already gone through that process. To do so, go check out ProGuides.com, book a coaching session with one of our many experienced coaches, and after just one session, I can guarantee you'll have a better idea of this concept, and after just a few sessions, you should have an understanding of a very good player. It's what I did, and I can say it's definitely worth it. Next up, versatility. Being flexible in CSGO is a major benefit, and something you definitely want to have in your locker when you're getting into games. Versatility is the idea that you can play with what you have at all times. Sometimes you get a nice kill with a pistol or an SMG, and your enemy drops a weapon that is better than yours, but you don't necessarily know how to use it. This was a problem that I faced a lot with weapons like the FAMAS, Galil, and even the AWP for a bit. Making sure that you know how to use all the weapons in CSGO will make you much better and way more dangerous as a player, as there's nothing holding you back from dominating your enemies. Learning the spray control and reload times of all the weapons will make you a more versatile and creative player. This also comes with knowing how to play each of the different positions on both the T and CT side of the map that you're playing. Sometimes you won't have the right weapon for your angle, for example an SMG playing middle on Mirage, or what might happen is one of your teammates will demand to play your favorite position. This is very annoying, but sometimes you just gotta live with it, and once you know how to play every position on your chosen map, you won't be in a bad situation. I advise you spend time in each position in casual games so that you know what you're up against and where to play. Another great way of learning these spots and knowing where the power positions are on each site is looking at pro players' demos. They will show you good angles to hold and when to fall back behind cover. All of this will help you become a better player, as nothing will be a surprise when playing. There are 7 main maps in the CSGO map pool, and to better your chances to rank up, you've got to learn all of them. Once you're able to play all the maps to a high level, you'll no longer be held back by lack of knowledge, and therefore, once again, nothing will surprise you. And finally, utility. There are hundreds of important utility lineups on each map, and I'm not saying that you have to learn all of them, but learning as many as you can will definitely help. When pushing towards middle on Inferno, some players know the short smoke, some players know the long smoke, and others prefer to smoke off Moto. But sometimes you'll be in a position where many players only know one of those smokes. If you learn all of them, you can always be helpful to your teammates, as there's always something that you can do. And this goes for other smokes and flashes on each of the maps. It's difficult to remember all the important utility on each map, so maybe try and learn a couple pieces on the map over a long time period. For me, it took a whole week to learn the utility perfectly on just 2 of the 7 maps. It's not easy, but it's useful when you're wanting to rank up. Another thing you should think about is mentality. Most players think CSGO is all about mechanical ability and your skill in game, but in all games, and especially CSGO, your mentality has a massive effect on whether you win or lose games. To give an example, when something unlucky happens in game and you react by getting angry and raging, this will put you in a bad mindset and you'll play differently because of it. You might start pushing more, playing more aggressive, and therefore everything you've learned will go out the window. Playing with emotion will always hinder you in CSGO, as you will no longer have full control of what you're doing, what you're pushing, and your decision making. That's why when playing Counter-Strike, you have to make sure that regardless of the situations that happen in previous rounds, you treat each round completely the same. You stay relaxed and you stay focused. Therefore, you won't be on tilt and you'll be able to make the right decisions. Sometimes when we get annoyed at Counter-Strike, we no longer take it seriously and may start messing around and throwing rounds because we believe the game's already lost. You may have lost 10 rounds in a row. Instead of having the mindset of, we have lost 10 in a row, we might as well just lose the game as quick as we can, think of it this way: they won 10 rounds in a row, now it's our turn. This positive mentality will help you realize that this game isn't over until the last round is played, and you can always bring a game back. So don't get angry over the scoreline, as it can change very quickly. It's also super easy to blame teammates for something that goes wrong in games, and many players will do it to shift the blame from themselves. But to grow as a player mechanically and mentally, when something goes wrong and it is your fault, it's just best to accept it, and then learn from the mistake. Blaming teammates will make you think that what you did was okay, therefore you'll make a bad habit as you believe it wasn't your fault. Bad habits are tough to crack and will stack up quickly, so when you make a mistake, which we all do, just accept it, learn from it, move on. No one is the perfect Counter-Strike player, but the best way to improve is to change how you play when you play incorrectly, instead of pointing the finger at somebody for something that you did. And the final tip, practice. When learning something new, such as a position, map, or utility, make sure you learn it right the first time around. The best way to do that is spend time watching how the pros play and see what works with your playstyle. If you like using the big green, maybe watch players like ZywOo, Simple, and Device, perhaps the best 3 oppers to ever play Counter-Strike. If you like the in-game leader role, maybe focus on someone like Glaive, Kerrigan, or maybe Liquid's newest signing, Fallen. If you want to just play as a rifler, maybe an entry fragger, there are hundreds of different players to watch, and you can look at how they play and see if it's similar to how you like to play. Once you find that player, look at their recent demos on the map that you want to get better at. Learn their positions and rotates, utility and when to use it, and how they pair with their teammates. It's all good knowing how you want to play, but you gotta make sure that you do this with your teammates. You don't want to rotate and leave an angle open when your teammate can easily hold it for you. I wanted to learn B-site Dust 2 with one of my teammates, and we decided to look at Team Vitality's B-site hold, and then tried to mimic how they play to see if it worked for us. After spending a couple hours looking at their demos, we started to learn in depth just how they played that map, and it instantly helped out our CT hold on Dust. This is something you don't need to do, but if you're seriously invested in becoming the best you can, trust me, it'll help.
So TLDR, if you want to be the best, you gotta train like the best. And if you're still finding it hard even after this video, then make sure to check out our courses written by the pros over on our website or sign up with one of our expert coaches. That's it for the video though, so best of luck on that ranked grind, and I'll see you next time.